breastfeeding is one of the most effective ways your child can survive. However, nearly 2 out of 3 infants are not exclusively, breastfed for the recommended 6 months, a rate that has not improved in 2 decades. However, please welcome Dr. Zinal Shah, a dynamic pediatrician and one of the first few lactation consultants in Mumbai who is so passionate about babies and thrives to make journey of every mother a happy one. Hello and a warm welcome to our show. I am Shavinda Kaur, the brand head of this show, which is Choose to Challenge, and it is an IESECCI initiative. And thank you for joining us.
Hello, how are you? Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I would really like to address to this topic so that as many viewers who are watching this will definitely get an insight on why breastfeeding is not happening in our country. Now, if you see the statistics, Shavinder, not more than 2/3 of the mothers mothers land up doing exclusive breastfeeding. Now, if you ask our parents, okay, they have exclusively breastfed us and maybe our siblings, and that time breastfeeding was never that great an effort. Now, if you see with a lot of urbanization, with more and more of education, with women having multitasking in their hands, I'm seeing a lot of women not being able to do justice to breastfeeding because that breastfeeding always takes a back seat because they feel that, okay, let the nanny take care of the baby. Or they feel that, it's okay if I don't breastfeed, I can just give formula because a lot of people accept it as normal. Okay.
Yeah, yes,
so I think your every woman should be made to convince that why breastfeeding is the best. So if I'm convinced that, okay, this is the best for my baby, I will do it. So convincing mothers that yes, mother's milk is like Amrut. It is the best feed which you can give it to your baby, which will make your baby very strong. It will increase the immunity of your baby. It will give your baby free of diseases. You will rarely visit the pediatrician. You will only see the pediatrician for vaccinations, and you will have a healthy future for your baby. Dear, all the parents have this thing that they want their children to be the best. When my daughter was small, I used to go to the play school or I used to go for the open houses and all. Every parent used to be fighting. अच्छा आधा मार्क क्यों काटा डॉक्टर टीचर हमको भी आधा मार्क हमारे बच्चे को ज्यादा दे दो या 1 मार्क हमारे बच्चे को ज्यादा दे दो. So we live in a competitive world where we want to compete with everybody and everything. So then why not compete with breastfeeding? Compete with the fact that you want to exclusively breastfeed your baby 24/7. And believe me, you will have yourself being healthy. You will lose weight as a mother. You will be more happier, more stronger. You will not get diseases like cancers, and you will have a very good base of your baby's health. So exclusive breastfeeding is something which is what I want to convey a message to all the young generation women who are going to be women here in Mumbai, India and the world, that see to it that this is on your to-do list and on your bucket list. Rather than having a bucket list of I want this much money in my bank, I want this car, I want this house. This should be a to-do list that I want to exclusively breastfeed my baby for 6 months. And the WHO recommendation is you continue breastfeeding at least till 2 years of age or maybe more than that if required.
Wow, we've just started a conversation in a very nice narrative manner. But before I start into a deep conversation with you, I want my viewers to know more about you. Well, Dr. Zinal is a pioneer and induced lactation and has helped more than 100 women feed who have delivered through surrogate and achieved milestones of successful breastfeeding. Being a gold medalist and university topper, all through, she believes in making a change and she did create when she became and created a post for same in prestigious Hinduja hospital. She has helped more than 5,000 mothers to do breast crawl and successful initiation within first hour of the birth and help them to achieve their breastfeeding goals. She has done numerous workshops with the BPNI, Maharashtra and UNICEF in the interiors of India to promote, protect and support breastfeeding. It's commendable, Dr. Zinal, it's commendable. Your endeavors are commendable. And this is a very a kind of discussion that I'm going to have. I never had this kind of discussion in my show, and I'm sure it is going to help my viewers a lot. So you already told me what why breastfeeding is important. So can you just tell me how has pandemic affected children and led to anxiety and stress?
So I think last 1.5 years have been very difficult because we are dealing with a situation in our nation and globally with the pandemic, which has crippled many lives, changed and turned a lot of things which people never expected. So I think during last year when the pandemic just started, I had a lot of mothers who were expecting to deliver, who were in their 7th month, 8th month, 9th month. So there was so much of a fear of going to the hospital in those initial days that, oh my God, what if I catch COVID in the hospital before I deliver? Okay, what if the staff nurse is having COVID and my baby gets COVID? So I think there was a lot of anxiety and fever associated last year when mothers and women who were delivering. So, I have done a lot of analysis, Shavinder, to understand that how this anxiety and fear is affecting these children who are in the mother's womb. Now, today, there's something called as psychology, right? So, if I'm in a happy state of mind, I'm going to have a happy environment around me. But if I'm in an anxiety and worry state, or if I'm fearful about a lot of things, I'm going to pass it on to people around me, and I'm also going to pass it on to my baby in the womb. So the baby in the womb actually senses how you are. And the baby senses the environment and the understanding of the family. Okay, so happy parents leads to happy babies. So I have been telling all the parents, even otherwise who delivered before the pandemic or who delivered during the pandemic or who are going to deliver now, that please don't let that environment of anxiety and fear cripple your household and your happiness. The pandemic or the COVID-19 virus, to be more precise, is here to stay. Okay, it's not going to go away anywhere for the next 2, 3, 4 years. We don't know how long. Even though we are vaccinated, touch wood, we are not seeing that rise in number of cases currently in India. But still, we don't know what's going to happen. So it's a lot of unpredictability and uncertainty for tomorrow. So very important thing is that like say I'm dressed up and sitting. I go to work every day dressed up and people look at me, Mom, you're so dressed up. I'm like, I'm doing this for myself. I'm not doing this for others. So why? Because I want to feel happy and I want to feel good about what was happening. So you can't let the negativity affect you, and you can't let the pandemic affect your happiness and your child's mental health, emotional health, physical health. There has been situations where, I had one patient last week only who came, 18 months, that child has not gone out of the house. So imagine now when the child is gone out of the house, that child doesn't know what the outside world is. That child doesn't know what is the environment outside. And he starts crying looking at people and strangers because he has not seen any other human beings. Can you imagine how stressful it is for that child? Ki main kahan aa gaya?
Correct.
So letting your child live a normal life at the same time you living a normal life is very important, while taking into consideration that you have to follow SMS. What I mean by SMS here is social distancing. That is the first S. M is the mask which we need to wear, and the third S is sanitization. So these three things are going to stay with us for a long time. So with all these precautions, I think it's important that we let go of the negative emotions. We let go of all the anxiety and fear which may affect us and which is already affecting our children. Like I'm seeing, Shavinder, a lot of children who have been coming to my clinic with maybe I would say autism, ADHDs, behavioral problems, obesity, depression, also overeating, too much of screen time leading to eye issues, leading to more aggression. Children don't give eye-to-eye contact because they have been hooked to the screen and their mind is only clogged with too much of screen time. So I think this generation of children who are growing big now during this pandemic are going to be a bigger pandemic than we can think of. You know what I'm saying? That mental health of children and the emotional and the psychological well-being is getting affected to a very, very, very deep level.
I totally relate to it. I have a growing child, and every time when I say that you're too much on the screen, irrespective of your study, and they give a very aggressive answer in return. So this pandemic is definitely, there is a parallel pandemic which our children are going through.
Absolutely, yes.
So how are you seeing children able to cope up with the pandemic?
So I think very important is that we ourselves don't talk too much about it. It's like the change starts from us as parents. So if we as parents are going to change our thought process and not going to talk about it again and again, it is not going to affect the child. So if you are going to be a panicky mother every now and then, "Acha, ye haath mat laga, acha, ye mat kar, acha, mask upar kar." If you are going to be one of those parents, your child is going to live in fear all the time. And your child is not going to understand. See, what are children? Children love to explore. Children love to be themselves. You see, children, they are so innocent and they are like roaming all around. They will not care, ye tumhara hai ki mera hai. They want to eat it, they will pick up from anybody's plate and eat it. They want to run around, they will run around. So that level of energy and that level of enthusiasm which a child has, no, we are killing it because of the pandemic fear. We are killing it. We are not letting our children play with other children. We are not letting them go down. We are not taking them anywhere. We are not letting their skills develop. So today, smaller children, Shavinder, I'm seeing their fine motor skills are not developing only because they're not going to school. Okay, they are only in the house, cooped up onto the TV or sleeping or probably listening to their parents' bombardment the whole day. So we as parents need to make the first change is to get our anxiety alleviated and start living a normal life where we create a happy, happening environment. So you can play games with your children. You can utilize the time at home. Our home is our temple. And we all have enough of resources in our home. You play family games. Okay, you can play games like treasure hunt in the house. You can go down and play family cricket, family football, do cycling competitions with your children. So there are a lot of things which you as a parent can do. Play badminton with your children. Okay, let your child's mental growth and physical growth stay where it should be, and let them think that this is normal, that mask is going to stay. The pandemic is over now, but yes, COVID-19 is going to stay. It is going to become an endemic for a long time. But you as a parent need to get your child to live to normal life by exposing them to the society, exposing them to the world, letting them live a normal life and letting them grow as a flower, grow as a plant, what we want them to grow as. So I think the first change starts from us. Second change starts from reducing the screen time. Very important in the TV or too much. I had this one child the other day. The grandmother sees TV the whole day, and both the parents are working, so their office has started. And this child is sitting with the grandmother. The child is around 2.5, 3 years, and obviously not going to school. So whole day the child is seeing TV serials. Okay, the Hindi TV serials, which obviously we all know that that they don't have much of value which a child can get out of it. And this child is now speaking bad words, learning from the TV serial. So your child is going to learn what you teach them or what they are going to see. Children follow the rule of imitation. That means they will do what you do or they will do what you see. So we need to make the change. We need to get to the routine of creating a discipline in our life. During this last few months, I have seen a lot of parents who are having late nights. They sleep at 3, 4 and they wake up at 11, 12. So obviously the child is also going to think that this is normal, that not to sleep on time and not to wake up on time. If you are going to have Coke or beer and you're going to tell your child don't have Coke, it's not right. So we need to be the change. We need to tell our children that, there has to be a discipline. There has to be some kind of a healthy routine which needs to be followed. And that routine has to be a happy, happening routine with a lot of fun in it, and bring that element of laughter in your house and bring that element of lot of fun games in your house.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing such amazing parenting tips. All of us are parents. Most of us are parents. Our viewers are parents. And these tips are really going to, we all know this, but, we need a constant reminder on that. We tend to forget. Thank you so much for sharing that valuable tips. So coming back to the interesting topic and a very unusual topic. So why are pediatricians and obstetricians not putting emphasis on exclusive breastfeeding?
See, to be very honest, what happens is I don't think everybody knows about it. As you said just now, that everybody knows about it. But when it comes to practically following it, I think everybody lags behind. So it's not that they don't want to do it, or it's not that they are not doing it, but somewhere there is a lag. The lag of being passionate about, the lag of committing yourself to it and giving time to that patient. So I think most of the pediatricians and obstetricians are so busy that they have a busy OPD, they have multiple patients to attend to and a lot of deliveries and all, so they are not able to give time. And that is where I think that, we as lactation consultants play a role. So what we lactation consultants do is that we will give that time which that mother needs so that she exclusively breastfeeds. So now, no, Shevi, there are a lot of prenatal and antenatal classes also which have started. So what these classes do is that they prepare a mother, like how you have to go for driving classes. Driving school, you go to driving classes. If you have to go for a marathon, you will first train. So this is like a training which we do now, online, offline, both is happening. So we do a training which will help this mother understand that, okay, I'm supposed to exclusively breastfeed, which will tell this mother how to breastfeed, which will tell this mother how to understand the baby's silence, and which will make the mother prepared and more geared up to deal with the situation after she delivers her baby. So there are a lot of antenatal classes and there are a lot of postnatal helps which we lactation consultants cater to. So in 2008, when I became a lactation consultant, this concept never existed. People didn't know, like how social media influencer. I mean, I think 20 years back, nobody knew what a social media influencer is. Like probably, you know, something, I'm just giving an example, entrepreneur. Okay, people, so there are a lot of terminologies which have erupted in the last few years. Same way, there are a lot of professions which have emerged. So lactation is one of the professions where we are dedicatedly helping mother to breastfeed. So my urge to all the doctors who are listening to me, all the pediatricians and the obstetricians, is that I understand you are busy. I understand you don't have the time, but see to it that you tell your patients to exclusively breastfeed your babies for the first 6 months, and please appoint a lactation consultant in your hospital, or you can ask the patients to take online consulting. Now, I think the pandemic, one good thing I think which the pandemic has taught us is online consulting, and as in now also we are sitting on the digital platform and doing this. So probably the message has to be conveyed right. Whether we do it online, offline, it doesn't matter. The message has to be conveyed very right. So my sincere urge to all of you to convey your patients to do exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months and take help whenever it is needed. If you can provide the help, your staff nurse can provide the help, or anybody else provides the help, as long as the help is being provided. So the mother who's delivered is quite naive and it's quite vulnerable. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know where she's going to do. She doesn't know whether she's doing it right. So it's like, you know, a guiding force. So we should become the guiding force to help her go through that journey of parenthood.
Great. These tips, I'm sure, you know, even if you go to a doc, will also not get at that time, you know. So you have been generous by sharing valuable tips, you know. So I really want to have a lot of discussion with you, but the time is absolutely constrained with us. One last question that I want to ask is, what are your tips for young mothers, you know?
Okay. So there are, as I said, most of these young mothers, you have to keep your mental cool. Don't get affected by situation outside you. Okay, the bigger struggle is inside your mind. Okay, our mind are our biggest enemies. So don't let negative thoughts overcome you. Okay, and don't let too much of anxiety and fear cripple you. So get into the position where you are in the driving seat of your life and not the pandemic or not anybody else, not any outsourced factor. So be happy, enjoy where you are, complete your passion, do it in a way that you live a balanced life. Take care of your health. Okay. I wish, you know, Shavinda, somebody had told me when I was young, like last 22 years I've been working. Nobody told me at a young age that take care of your health. Nobody told me that you should not put on weight. You know, I used to do night calls like 5 days, 6 days a week. I used to be full nights in the hospitals. Okay. Saving babies. I used to work with critical patients. And probably in that 20 years, I started gaining weight. I got high blood pressure. And now by the time I've realized that I should take care of my health, I mean, I've already lost the precious years of my life. So yes, please take care of yourself first. That's the most important message I would like to give all the women, because we as women are the anchor of a family. So if we are in good balance, the whole family is in good balance. So you have to take care of yourself. See to it that your jar is full with happiness. Only then that jar of happiness will emit happiness to the people in your family. Thank you.
Great. These are indeed valuable, you know, tips and takeaways for all our young mothers. Well, it takes a big heart to be a pediatrician, and you're doing a fabulous job, Dr. Zinal Shah. And thank you once again for joining our interesting women's special series, Choose to Challenge.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So if you wish to share your inspiring stories, please contact me at shavi@efaujitalks.com. I thank all our viewers. Please like, share, and comment on this show, especially dedicated to young mothers and pediatric valuable additions that we have added in this channel. Thank you so much, and do not forget to write your comment on this particular episode. For more interesting stories, please stay tuned. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you.
Efauji Talks is brought to you by IESECCI, Indian Ex-Defence Service Employees Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Thanks to its vast veteran network and global and pan-India associates, IESECCI can carry out various commerce facilitations and CSR projects across India and the world. Some of IESECCI's core capability areas are Skill India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Digital India, any ex-serviceman welfare or job program, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan related projects, telemedicine and healthcare training and job scheme, Save Water scheme, defence industry SME, MSME cluster and hub development, maritime training and inland water training with job facilitation, Canada study, job and permanent residency opportunity, e-commerce, Andaman and Nicobar commerce opportunities. IESECCI's global reach includes countries like Indonesia, Slovakia, Canada, Nepal, Singapore, Rwanda, USA, UK. Above all, it is IESECCI's effort to create a veterans brand made by the veterans, for the veterans and made up of the veterans. Every Indian's support is invaluable in this journey. IESECCI is a registered society for ex-servicemen's welfare and envisions that every veteran should be a part of India's economic growth story. It is the aim of IESECCI to create an enabling commerce platform that will empower and synergize the veterans' talent pool. This is possible only with the support of entrepreneurs, businesses and consultants from civil society. All proceeds, if any, are utilized for the welfare of ex-servicemen and for public charity.